A number of special and distinguished guests came calling on the president yesterday and today, to include Masato Kanda, newly named chief of the Asian Development Bank, which the president hailed as the most reliable partner in the country's economic development, with a list of big-ticket and mission-critical projects to be bankrolled in part by the ADB. Meanwhile, the president also welcomed and received the new addition to the diplomatic corps, envoy from Slovenia, Palestine, Egypt, and Sweden, with whom the president expressed wishes and greater efforts to improve bilateral relations. Araclesel Pardilia sums it up in this report.
The Philippines and the Asian Development Bank, or ADB, further strengthened economic ties. This following a meeting between President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and the new ADB President Masato Kanda, who paid a courtesy call at Malacanang. The chief executive considers the ADB one of the most important partners of the Philippines. The ADB is a regional institution that provides financial and technical assistance to countries in Asia and the Pacific to improve their economy, infrastructure, and quality of life of the people.
The development that we have achieved that have been assisted by the ADB is the most important project that we have had in the Philippines. And yet, we find that in the last years, recently, that has even increased. And so I think this is very encouraging, very promising.
The ADB serves as the Philippines' key partner in programs and initiatives aimed at improving the welfare of Filipinos. Among these projects are the construction of MRT Line 4, which is expected to ease traffic congestion in Metro Manila, the Bataan-Cavite Interlink Bridge, which will facilitate faster transportation from Central Luzon to Calabarzon, the Walang Gutom Project, part of the food stamp program, which aims to provide sufficient and decent food for the country's poorest citizens, the Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Project, which will address the challenges posed by climate change. The relationship between the Philippines, Slovenia, and Palestine is also expected to strengthen. In separate ceremonies in Malacanang, President Marcos received the credentials of the ambassador-designates of both countries. The Philippines and Slovenia agreed on advancing international law, while the Philippines and Palestine committed to promoting peace and prosperity. The Philippines is also set to deepen bilateral relations with Sweden and Egypt. In separate meetings with the ambassador-designates of the two nations, the Philippines and Sweden reaffirmed their shared stance on freedom of navigation and respect for human rights. Meanwhile, the Philippines and Egypt vow to strengthen bilateral relations to boost investments and trade between the two countries. From PTV Manila, Araclesel Pardilia, Balitang Pambansa.